So yeah, welcome to the 25-pound blueprint. How parents are dropping 20 to 30 pounds without cutting out their foods that they love. Tonight, I'm going to be showing you exactly why so many parents work so hard to lose weight yet keep ending up stuck, starting over, or burning out. And how to finally break that pattern using the same blueprint that's helped over 500 parents lose 20 to 30 pounds and keep it off for good. Because here's the truth. Here's the truth. Like, it's not that you're lazy or you lack discipline. It's that no one ever showed you a system that fits real life. The schedules, the stress, the family dinners, the late nights. So if you ever thought I just need to get back on track or once life slows down, I'll focus on me. Tonight's the night that ends. By the end of this training, you're going to walk away with a clear, realistic plan to finally lose weight without sacrificing your sanity, your family, or your favorite foods. Okay, let's go. So before we jump in, I just want to set the tone. Well, actually, no. Whoop. So everybody can hear me clearly. I just want to make sure everything's good on my end. I just had a. Okay. Okay. Fantastic. So before we jump in, I want to set the tone. This masterclass isn't about passively listening. It's about deciding to use what you learn to create real change. So make me a deal. Picture yourself putting this blueprint into action. Commit to taking one step forward this week. And if that's you, I want you to type yes in the chat right now because transformation starts with the second that you decide. Getting lots of yeses. Love it. Let's go. And before I show you the steps, I want to think about something bigger because strategies alone won't keep you going. Your why will. Maybe your why is wanting to finally have the energy to keep up with your kids. Maybe it's proving to yourself that you can follow through this time. Maybe it's being a role model for your family that they look up to. Whatever it is, I'm going to lock it in right now. Type it into the chat if you want to anchor it, just say it out loud to yourself because the stronger that your why is, the easier it is to be able to follow through on what I'm going to be showing you today. And if you want to throw that into the chat, I'd love to see that. I'm sure the other parents seeing the other powerful whys and why other people are prioritizing their health is going to be inspiring as well. Got a cat hair in my mouth. Poor timing. Live is to live a long life, a long and healthy life with confidence and show my kids how to as well. Awesome. Want to be healthier. Love it. Let's go. All right, I want to do something a little bit different together. I want you guys to say this out loud with me. I can enjoy food, family, and freedom and still reach my goals. Go ahead and I actually want you guys to say it out loud. Don't just think it. I know it might feel like a little bit awkward, but humor me. I want you to type it in the chat and like how it feels to actually say that out loud. And the reason I'm having you do this is because most of you have been repeating the opposite story for years. Things like I have to give up my favorite foods or I can't enjoy myself if I want results. Those beliefs keep you stuck. But the truth is, the exact opposite is what works. And tonight I'm going to actually show you why and how to finally live that out. So I want you guys to say it out loud. I can enjoy food, family, and freedom and still reach my goals. And I want you to say that out loud. You don't have to hop on mute or off mute or anything like that. But if you want to just say that and say like how it actually feels and throw that into the chat and like is it energy? Is it hope? Like what does that actually feel like to be able to say that out loud? Happiness, love it. Confidence, freeing. Let's go. Let's go. Awesome. Awesome. I'd love to get some more in the chat whenever whatever that feels like for the rest of you as well too. Determination. So now before we dive in, I want to set you up with a target for tonight. As you go through this masterclass, don't worry about remembering every single detail or writing down every step perfectly. Instead, I want you to look for something really simple. Prove that this works for people just like you. You're going to see parents who thought they were too busy, too old, or just had failed a dozen times before, and you'll see them win with this method. So your job tonight is just to notice those moments where you can say, that's me. If they can do it, I can do it too. And if you do that, you're going to walk away not just with strategies, but with belief. And belief is what's going to actually get you to follow through with this. Before we dive in, I'm going to give you a little bit of a context on who I am and why you should even listen to me. On the left, that was me at a fitness conference chosen along with other top coaches to actually teach other trainers how to build their communities and help their clients get better results. That was a huge honor because it showed me I wasn't just doing this for myself. I was seen as someone who could actually lead and teach at a high level. And in the middle, that was me at my first ever bodybuilding competition. I placed second, got down to 5% body fat. Now, I don't expect anyone here to want to step on stage or anything like that, but what that taught me was discipline and the science behind transforming your body and how to take those principles and make them work for real life, not just on the stage. And on the right, that's me speaking to a graduating class at a local high school. I was invited to share my story and teach those students about discipline, self-belief, and how to create a future they could be truly proud of. So in short, I've been on both sides. I've pushed my own body to extremes. I've been trusted to coach other coaches, and I've been asked to share what I've learned with the next generation. And today, I get to share this with you and to finally create a system for fat loss that actually sticks. And outside of my own journey, I've been lucky to work with some amazing clients, train alongside some of the best in the industry, and even have close friends I've worked with featured in Men's Health magazine. And on the left, this was actually me in high school. I was skinny, insecure, didn't feel confident. And I'll be real with you. Even people close to me, like my mom, flat out told me I was a failure. And that kind of thing stuck with me. And in the middle, a few years later, I swung the complete opposite way. I put on a bunch of weight. And for the first time, I felt trapped in a body I didn't recognize. On top of already feeling like a failure, now I felt like I was proving everybody right. And on the right, years later, I pushed myself all the way to the other extreme, bodybuilding competition, shredded on stage, 5% body fat. It looked impressive, but it wasn't sustainable. And the reason I share this is because out of all of that, I figured out what actually works, not just for the stage, but for real life. And that's the process I'm going to be showing you tonight. So let me introduce you to Heather, a busy mom with a full household. Heather's story might sound familiar. She had tried before, she failed before, and every time she started to believe maybe it just wasn't possible for her. But here's what happened when she stopped relying on another fad and followed the system instead. She didn't just try again, she finally succeeded. She dropped the weight, built consistency, and proved to herself it could last. So if you've ever thought I've tried and I failed before, Heather is living proof that it doesn't matter how many times you've started over, you can still win when the system is right. And this is Caroline, a busy mom with two toddlers. And for years, she thought the only way was to get results was doing hours of cardio and living off rabbit food. And that's what most of us have been told, right? But the truth is, it wasn't working. She was exhausted, frustrated, and stuck. And when Caroline shifted this into this system, focusing on strength training, smart nutrition, everything changed. She leaned out, built muscle, and for the first time ever, felt strong instead of depleted. So if you've ever believed cardio and dieting are the only way, Caroline's proof is that there's a better way, one that actually lasts. And this is Pamela, a busy working mom and grandma as well. And she first came to us, and her biggest thought was, I'm too old to get in shape, or it's too late in my life. And she believed her best years were behind her. But here's what happened. Once she followed the system, she dropped the weight, toned up, and built strength she hadn't felt in decades. Pamela proves age isn't the barrier. The real barrier is the wrong approach. And if you've ever thought it's too late for me, Pamela shows you it's never too late to take back your body and confidence. And this is Beatrix, a busy working mom working 12 plus hour shifts. Her biggest fear was that her life was way too unpredictable and too busy for this to ever work. She thought every time I try, something comes up, kids, work, travel, and I fall off. But here's what happened. And when she started using this system instead of just trying to be perfect, she learned how to succeed even when life got messy. She dropped the weight, built consistency, and finally saw results that lasted even with her busy, unpredictable schedule. So if you've ever thought, I don't have the time, Beatrix proves that you don't need a perfect life for this to work. You just need the right plan. And this is Natasha, also a busy working mom. And her biggest hesitation, she didn't want to give up her favorite foods. She told me every diet I've tried before maybe cut out everything I enjoyed, and that's why I could never stick to it sustainably. But here's the difference with this system. Natasha didn't have to restrict. She learned how to fit the foods she loved into her plan while still making progress. The result, she dropped over 50 pounds, felt confident again for the first time ever. She enjoyed the process instead of just dreading it. So if you've ever thought, I don't want to give up my favorite foods, Natasha's proof that you don't have to choose between results and enjoying your life. And on this masterclass, you're going to discover why willpower always burns out and how to make fat loss automatic with a simple daily system. The three traps that keep parents stuck losing and regaining the same weight and proven ways to break free for good. And how to flip your body's natural fat burn switch without adding a single minute of cardio if you don't want to. And the real reason motivation never lasts and how to build consistency that feels effortless, and how to enjoy pizza night and family dinners while still following the 25-pound blueprint to drop 20 to 30 pounds and keep it off. All right, let's jump into the first big piece, what I call the parent power system. Most parents think that the reason they can't lose weight is because they're not disciplined enough. You know that voice of, I just had more willpower. If I could just stick to it, I'd finally lose the weight. But here's the truth. Willpower is like your phone battery. It drains throughout the day, works, kids, stress, decisions. They all pull from there until there's nothing left. So by the time you finally have a quiet moment, that battery's dead. And you end up reaching for what's easy instead of what's effective. But what's really running the show isn't willpower, it's your system, your routines, your environment, the standards you set without even realizing it. And that's what dictates your results. So instead of just trying to push harder and get motivated, we upgrade the system so that losing 25 pounds becomes automatic, not exhausting. Make sense? So step one is breaking the willpower myth. So let's get real here. How many of you have just said to yourself, I just need to be more disciplined. If I could just force myself to stick to it, I'd finally get results. If that's you, I want you to drop a one in the chat. Or maybe you've told yourself, I just need to do more cardio. If I could grind harder, then I'd finally lose weight. And if that sounds more like you, drop a two in the chat. Already got a one. Got another one. Lots of ones. One and two. Totally hear you. I think it's happened to the best of us. Lots of ones, lots of twos. Look, it's a mixture of both for pretty much everybody. So this is Caroline. When she first came in, she kept saying the same thing a lot of people believed, that she needed more discipline. The thing is, discipline wasn't really the issue. Her willpower wasn't broken. What was actually keeping her stuck was the environment she was in and the little habits she didn't even notice were working against her. Once you built her a system that made the right choice, the easy choice, everything changed. And you can see the difference here. She didn't suddenly get more disciplined, she created alignment. All right, let's get honest for a second. What's your go-to excuse when you fall off? Is it I'm too busy? I'll start on Monday. I was just too busy. The kids need me. Work was crazy. We all have that one. And I want you to be real with me. Drop yours in the chat right now. Busy or tired? Totally. Let's get more in the chat. I know we got some more in here. Not motivated? I had to eat that before it went bad. That's the first time I've heard that one. I need a rest day and busy, tired, work, college, kids. Totally. Now, notice something here. You're all saying the same things, and that's important because it proves this isn't about personal failures. It's not that you're broken. It's that the system you've been trying to use was broken. That's exactly what we're here to fix. Tired, definitely. And when I first started dialing this in, my girlfriend used to buy snacks for her kids, chips, cookies, all the good stuff. And I'd tell myself, I'll have the willpower not to touch it. Guess what? I'd cave every single time. So what we did was simple. We just hid them out of sight, out of mind. And then we made sure my go-to options were high satiety snacks like Greek yogurt, snap peas, jerky, pickles were right there at eye level and readily available. I started trying to fight willpower battles. I started winning because the environment was set up for me to win instead of trying to willpower my way through it. Okay, quick reality check. Picture this. You walk into your kitchen after a long day, you're tired, maybe a little bit stressed, and the first thing staring you down is this. Be honest. Those cookies don't stand a chance, right? Now flip it. Same day, same stress, but instead of cookies, the first thing you see is a bowl of fruit. Totally different outcome. It's not about willpower, it's just about what's right in front of your face. So let's be real here. What's actually sitting on your counter right now? Drop it in the chat if it's cookies or processed stuff. Put a cookie in the chat and put an apple if it's fruit. No judgment, just curious what you guys have on the table. If you guys want to throw that in the chat. Got some bananas, got some fruits. Love it, love it. Awesome, awesome. Looks like everybody's got their environment designed a little bit more for success, which is great. Shout out to the fruit crew. Protein powder. Can't go wrong with that. And yeah, that's the whole point. Your environment is either making it harder or making it easier. And fix what you see first, and you don't even have to try harder. Get more people in here. Fantastic. All right, let's make this super practical for 1 second. You had to pick one thing to clean up this week. Would it be your kitchen or your schedule? Like, would it help you more to walk in and see healthier options at home, or to finally block off some time in your day to prep, work out, or plan so you're not just winging it? Or maybe it's actually getting a schedule rocking and rolling. Drop a K for kitchen or an S for schedule. And I want to see where you guys are at. Got an S, got a K. Fantastic. Definitely, definitely. Seen some Ks for sure. Makes sense. Kitchen is definitely a war zone for a lot of us. Yeah, and if it's not in your schedule, it doesn't exist. I know if I'm not in there, it's like you almost don't see yourself as a priority if you don't have it in the schedule along with everything else. And notice how nobody typed motivation? That's because it's not about motivation. It's about setting up systems that do the heavy lifting for you. All right, Jim Rohn has this famous line. You're the average of the top five people you spend the most time with. And it's true. If the people around you are constantly skipping workouts, ordering takeout, and talking down about themselves, that stuff rubs off. But the same is true if you're surrounded by people who are moving forward. It pulls you up too. So let's make this real. Drop one name in the chat of someone in your life who lifts you up, and one name, you don't have to use their real names, initials work too, of someone who kind of drags you down a little bit. I can think of a couple of people I've had to separate myself from as well too, but got an initial in there already. But yeah, start to think about exactly who lifts you up and who kind of drags you down a little bit. Because that's going to give you a lot more clarity on who you need to spend more time with, who's going to influence you and push you towards your goals, and who's going to be more aligned with you versus people who you maybe need to distance yourself from a little bit more. Now, here's the thing. Nobody escapes this. We're all influenced by our circles, which is exactly why creating an environment and a community that pulls you forward is so powerful because willpower fades, but your circle is always going to be there. Your mom is your cheerleader. Fantastic. Lifts you up with her positivity, not immediately drag you down. Totally. Sounds like you need to spend more time with the work friends. To spend time with negative people. Love it. That's super important. I find that the more wise that we get, the older that we get, the smaller our circle gets. Awesome. So James Clear nails it right here. There aren't magical high performance people walking around who are born different. There are just people with habits that make them look high performance. Like, let me give you an example. Dawn didn't succeed losing 54 pounds because she was more disciplined or had more free time. Honestly, she was juggling like three jobs, barely sleeping when she started. And what she did was walk in two simple habits, tracking her protein and walking every single day. That's it. Nothing fancy. But because she repeated those two habits, she started getting results people thought were impossible. So when you see transformations inside this program, it's not because those people are special, it's because they built habits that made them look special. So, firstly, you want to make it obvious. Don't rely on memory or motivation. Like one client left her shoes by the door so she could just wouldn't ignore them in the morning. Maybe it's like putting your car keys into your gym bag and make it attractive. Like if you dread it, you won't do it. And when she bought workout clothes, she actually liked it and wanted to show up. I know that I get like new workout music that I can listen to that makes it more exciting to want to go and like push myself at the gym. And make it easy. Don't start with a 90-minute workout, start with 5 minutes. Like start with a walk. The key is starting and make it satisfying. Track your wins in a way that you can see. One client kept a wall calendar and crossed off every single workout, and that streak was a way more motivating than waiting for the scale to move. Because it's like getting that positive feedback loop every time that you cross off or check off another workout. And step three, install tiny wins. So, like the 2 minute rule is one of my favorites. The idea is simple. Make the first step so small, you literally can't talk yourself out of it. Like instead of saying I'll do a 60-minute workout, just commit to putting on your shoes or filling your water bottle or stretching for a couple of minutes. Because once you start, momentum usually carries you the rest of the way. It's not about crushing it on day one, it's about lowering the bar so you actually start. So here's the thing most people get wrong. They think missing one workout or one day of clean eating ruins everything. It doesn't. That what ruins progress is missing twice in a row. And that's where the spiral begins. And I'll give you an example. When I first started out, I missed 4 days straight and thought, well, I blew it. Might as well start over on Monday. That start over on Monday mindset is what kills results. One of my clients flipped it. She said, okay, I missed Tuesday, but I'm not missing Wednesday. And guess what? That's why she kept losing weight steadily instead of yo-yoing. Think about it. Like where do you tend to let one miss turn into two? workouts, nutrition, or sleep. And I want you to drop a W for workouts, N for nutrition, or S for sleep in the chat. And you'll see that you're not alone. Driveway is a quarter mile long. I'd definitely do it for sure. Sleep for sure. But where do you typically like let one miss turn into two for everybody? W for workouts, N for nutrition, S for sleep. Getting some S's. I definitely I feel like sleep is definitely one of the more common ones for sure. Workouts, nutrition, getting lots of S's and W's and some N's. So everyone thinks it's the big overhauls that create change. But in reality, it's the small daily improvements that build unstoppable momentum. Like, let's make this real. Like, if you just made one small improvement to your nutrition or movement every day, like, say, swapping one meal for a higher protein option or adding 5 minutes of walking, what would that add up to over the next year? I want you guys to like drop your guess in the chat. Like, how much would that compound over time for like what that would add up to in a year? Whether that's like just swapping one meal for a higher protein option is like how's that going to reflect in your weight loss? How's that going to reflect with your walking for like your energy and also potentially like how much activity and cardiovascular health you're going to improve in that amount of time? Like those tiny wins compound. They don't just add up, they multiply. Like if you add 5 extra minutes of walking or activity per day for a year, 5 minutes times 365 is 1,825 minutes, which equals a little over 30 hours of extra movement in a year without even noticing. That's how parents in our program drop 25 pounds, not by being perfect, but by stacking one small win on top of another until their entire lifestyle shifts. Consistency beats perfection every single time. Because when you focus on getting just 1% better each day, the results don't just change your body, they change your life. So here's the deal. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they overcomplicate the basics. So let's make this real. Out of these three, nutrition, workouts, or sleep, which are you overcomplicating right now? Drop an N for nutrition, W for workouts, or S for sleep. Nutrition, definitely. And W, totally. Sleep. Definitely overthinking workouts instead of just showing up is it definitely can feel like it needs to be this all or nothing mentality. And the truth is all three of these work the same. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need a simple plan or a system that you can repeat. So this is actually one of our clients, Sophie. She's down 70 pounds over the last year and a half. And a year ago, she was actually struggling with like she hated working out. Like she would go for maybe she'd work out once one week, two the next week, five the next week, zero the next week. And it would just constantly be yo-yoing and like, being all over the place because when things got crazy busy, she would go out of town for a service job, or she'd be like outside of her regular routine, or she would get sick. And she just wasn't able to do a full workout. She would tell herself and justify to herself, oh, I'm going to get back on it tomorrow. Next week's going to be a lot more free. I'm going to get back on it. And she just wouldn't end up following through with it the way that she ideally wanted to. Where we applied never miss twice and the 2 minute rule that we talked about. Where there was actually a point I remember her telling me she went into the gym and didn't even do anything. Like she just went to the gym with her workout stuff on and left immediately afterwards. And I told her, I was like, that's one step closer to you building a habit of just going to the gym. Next, if you have like one of those overwhelming, difficult days and you just go onto the treadmill or you just pick up some weights, you do a couple of minutes, that's going to create more sustainability and more momentum. So then you can ramp back up when you're starting to feel better. And now she's down 70 pounds. She's working out like 6 days a week and she's also doing cardio on top of it. And she's made this a lifestyle change. And it was all from those small little steps that compounded to big results. So one of the biggest shifts you make isn't about food or workouts, it's about identity. So here's what I mean. Imagine you're the fit parent version of yourself. Your kid comes up and says, "Can we get ice cream?" How do you respond as that version of you? I want you to drop that into the chat. Like, how would you respond if your kid just came up and asked if they could have ice cream? Yes, but I'll make it fit into my daily calories. That's what I like to hear. Can I have ice cream? Sure, what flavor? And I want you to also imagine like that fit version of like parent version of yourself and like when they ask if they can have ice cream, like how you'd respond that way. Yes, and I'll just have a bite of yours. That's what I like to hear. Yeah, instead of you also getting the ice cream, just having a bite of theirs. Now, when you start to think about that answer as that fit version of yourself, when you identify as that like that happy, healthy, fit parent, compare that to how you would normally respond. Like, would you see the difference? Like, same situation, totally different identity driving the choice. All right, let's do something powerful together. I want you to do just close your eyes for the next 20 seconds. Don't worry, no one's looking at you. I'm gonna be doing it too. So picture yourself 6 months from now. You dropped the weight, your clothes fit the way you always wanted, and you actually feel proud when you look in the mirror. You walk into a room and your future self is standing there. They've already done the work. They've become the version of you that doesn't start over every Monday. What would they say to you right now? What would they say, like, thank you for finally showing up? Or would they be asking, what's taking so long? And I want you to take a second and hear it. And when you're ready, I want you to type in the chat what your future self said to you. Took you long enough, and then a high five. About time. Thank you for not giving up. Fantastic. Let's go. Awesome. You got this. Don't be so hard on yourself. So you have it in the past. Way to go. I know you could do it. Love the energy. Let's go. So James Clear nails it right here. Most people live their whole lives saying, I want to be healthier, I want to lose weight, I want to feel confident, but nothing changes until it shifts to identity. I'm the kind of parent who prioritizes health. I'm the kind of person who shows up even on the days I don't feel like it. That's exactly what we do inside the Hanson Health Academy. We don't just hand you a workout or a meal plan. We help you become the person who doesn't need to start over every Monday. And that's why our clients don't just lose the weight, they keep it off. All right, let's go through what I call the three weight loss traps every parent falls into. These are the hidden patterns that keep even the hardest working parents stuck in that start over cycle. And until you understand these traps, it's easy to think that you're the problem and that you need more motivation, more willpower, and more time. But the truth is, it's not you, it's the system that you've been running on. These three traps quietly dictate your habits, your choices, and your results. And most people don't even realize that they're in them. As we go through them one by one, you're going to start recognizing exactly which ones have been holding you back. And once you see them clearly, breaking free becomes a whole lot easier when you have that awareness. So let's start with the first one. The first killer, all or nothing thinking. One of my clients, a mom with two kids, used to fall into this trap all the time. She'd start Monday on fire, full meal prep, gym every day, cut out sugar, all the things. And by Wednesday, life would hit. A kid got sick, work ran late, or she just didn't have the energy. She'd miss one workout or grab takeout for dinner, and boom, she'd call it a failure. She'd tell herself, well, I already blew it. I'll just start over next Monday. That's the cycle of all or nothing thinking and what it creates. It's not that she didn't have the drive, it's that she thought the plan only worked if it was perfect. And that mindset is what keeps people stuck for years. Be honest, like how many of you just said, I'll just start over on Monday? I would have dropped like a raise hand or a yes in the chat if that's ever been you. Yes, my nemesis for 13 years. Yep. Yeah, lots of yeses. Yeah, tons of yeses. Definitely happened to the best of us for sure. Tons of yeses. Every damn Monday. All right, the second killer is what I call the motivation myth. This is the trap of thinking you've got to feel motivated before you can get started. Let's be real. Motivation is like that friend who hypes you up on day one and then ghosts you by day three. It's never there when you actually need it. I had a client who was always waited for the perfect moment, like I'll start Monday when work is calm, the kids are good, and I've got everything prepped. And yeah, she'd crush it for a couple of days, maybe a week, but the second life got messy, the motivation was gone and so was her progress. The problem wasn't her, it's that motivation isn't supposed to carry you long term. What actually keeps you moving forward are systems and habits that work even when you don't feel like it. Who else has just played the I'll start when I feel motivated game and then fell off a week later? Just drop motivation in the chat if that's ever been you. Getting some motivations already? Lots of motivations. Do good for a bit, fall off. Yep. Lots. Yeah, totally hear you. And the last weight loss trap every parent falls into is the identity conflict. So here's what I mean. If deep down you still have see yourself as the busy parent who never has time or the person who always falls off, your brain is going to keep proving you right. One of my clients used to say this all the time. I just don't have the time for this. And guess what? Every week, her schedule magically filled up with things that kept her from working out or prepping food. Until your identity shifts, until you start saying, I'm the kind of parent who takes care of myself. No diet or workout plan is going to stick. This one's not about willpower. It's about becoming someone new, not just doing something new. I actually have a great example around this because I used to struggle with drinking. Like my entire family was struggle with alcoholism, and I used to go drinking with my friends all the time. And then I started telling my friends, I only drink on Christmas and my birthday. And every time Christmas and my birthday would come around, I felt like I needed to drink. It's not even that I wanted to necessarily drink on Christmas and my birthday, but I felt the need to do it because I identified as that person, not only to other people, but I would also say it out loud. It wasn't until I started saying I'm not a drinker that I just completely stopped and I haven't drank for years. So I want you guys to be real. Like, how many times have you ever said I don't have time, or I don't things aren't lining up, or yeah, so like it's something along those lines. And I want you to drop time in the chat if that's been your story before. Time, yep, lots of time. So which of these weight loss traps hit the hardest? Was it the all or nothing mentality? Was it the motivation myth, or was it the identity conflict? I want you guys to drop that into the chat for these three different ones. You can also say all of them. But which one hit the hardest for you guys? All of them? Yep. I feel like they all go hand in hand. All because they all hit at one point or another. Couldn't agree more. Definitely happens. It's happened to basically every single client that we worked with. So these are the three weight loss traps every parent falls into: all or nothing thinking, the motivation myth, and the identity conflict. And here's the thing. Once you beat those, everything changes. Like take Chanel, for example. When she came to me, she was stuck in all three. She'd start over every Monday perfect and quit by Thursday or Friday. She was always waiting for the motivation to show up, and deep down, she didn't see herself as someone who could actually stick to this. But once we started working on shifting those patterns, she dropped 80 pounds, gained her confidence back, and for the first time ever, she didn't just lose the weight, she kept it off. That's why this next step is so important because it's not enough just to know the roadblocks. You need a system that takes away their power. And that's exactly what I'm about to show you. So the parent power fat burn protocol. So let's talk about something that completely changes the way most parents think about fat loss. And again, I call this the parent power fat burn protocol. And here's the surprising part. It's about how this to speed up fat loss without spending hours on cardio. Now, I know that sounds backwards because we've all been told that running, cycling, endless step counts are the key to burning fat. But that old approach just keeps you stuck, doing more, eating less, feeling more drained than ever. This method flips the script by teaching your body to become a fat burning machine through strength, recovery, and smart movement. So results start compounding even when life's busy. Let me show you exactly how this works and why it's 10 times easier to maintain long term. So let's kill a big myth here. Most people think that the way to lose fat is to just do more cardio, run more miles, spend more time on the treadmill, hit more spin classes. And yeah, cardio burns calories, but here's the problem. It burns muscle along with fat. It makes you hungrier, so you eat more later, and it traps you in this cycle where you have to keep doing more and more just to maintain it. I had a client who was running 5 days a week and barely eating. She was exhausted, hungry all the time, and the scale barely moved. But once we cut the cardio back, focused on strength training and simple nutrition shifts, she finally started dropping weight consistently and had way more energy. So it's not that cardio is evil, it's it's not the fat loss magic trick that we've been sold. In fact, the less that you rely on it, the faster and easier fat loss becomes. It's not about burning more calories during the workout, that's short term. What actually increases fat burn are three simple things. So building muscle, because muscle is active tissue, the more that you have, the more calories that you burn, even when you're sitting on the couch or sleeping. And then fueling properly. When you eat enough of the right foods like protein, fiber, high volume foods, healthy fats, your metabolism fires up instead of just slowing down. And recovering right. When you sleep and manage stress, your body actually burns more because it's not stuck in survival mode. And that's exactly how you get your body working for you instead of against you. All right, let's make this a little bit fun. Like, would you rather spend hours sweating on the treadmill or just do a few short strength workouts a week and let your body keep burning calories at rest? Drop A for sweating hours on the treadmill, B for doing 3 to 4 strength sessions per week. B, I'm definitely putting B, that's for sure. Also get more definition in the process. Lots of B's. Awesome. Love it. So remember Caroline from earlier? She was the one that thought the only way to lose weight was to run herself into the ground with cardio and starve on a diet. But here's what happened when she flipped the script. We cut out the endless cardio, had her do just 3 to 4 strength workouts a week, and gave her a nutrition plan that let her eat real food, including pizza nights with her kids. In 4 months, she dropped 20 pounds, toned up, and finally felt in control of her body. And also bragged about her six pack, where I had to hear about it constantly all the time. She didn't just do a single mile of treadmill marathons, just strength, smart food, and consistency. And this is why busy parents love this method. You don't have time for hours of cardio, you've got work, kids, and life. But you do have time for a few short strategic workouts that actually speed up fat loss. It's not about doing more, it's about doing the right things and letting your body work for you instead of against you. All right, this is where everything changes. Most people think consistency is about discipline, motivation, or waiting for life to calm down. It's not, and it's not. Those things fade. What lasts is a system. And that's why we use the consistency blueprint, a simple, repeatable set of rules that keeps you moving forward, even when life throws you curveballs. Tonight, I'm going to show you the step-by-step process so you can follow the 25-pound blueprint without needing perfect days, just predictable moves. So let's be real for a second. This is the cycle most people live in. You overcommit, you miss a day, you feel guilty, you spiral, then you restart Monday and the whole thing repeats. That's exactly where Samantha was when she joined me. She had just had a baby, she was running her business and kept falling into this loop over and over again. But once we established a solid, sustainable system, she lost 34 pounds in 4 months. And if you've ever lived this cycle yourself, drop the word Monday in the chat so I know I'm not alone. Monday, yeah, definitely. Already got one. Love it. Getting lots of Mondays already. I know we got some more Mondays out there. And it shows exactly why this isn't personal failure. It's just a broken system. And that's what we're about to fix. You're not stuck because you're lazy. You're stuck because the system you've been given is broken. Think about it. You've already got a million life demands pulling on your time and your energy. You don't have a real system. You've just been relying on motivation. And the most of the plans out there leave you more drained than energized, which leads to burnout. See, it's not laziness, it's broken systems. And that's exactly what we're going to be about to fix. So motivation, I find it's like Wi-Fi. Great when you have it, but very unreliable. Systems are your insurance policy. They carry you when motivation disappears. Like, think about it. If your bare minimum is 5 push-ups before bed, you're still going to move forward, even on the days that you don't feel like it. That's how you build momentum that doesn't depend on willpower. Most people set perfection ceilings. Like if they can't do the full 60-minute workout, they quit. Pros flip that. They set a floor instead and bare minimum that they'll do no matter what. Maybe that's a 10-minute movement. Maybe it's just walking into the gym and that keeps their identity alive. Because here's the thing. Even 20% effort is infinitely better than disappearing completely. That's how you protect your identity as someone who shows up. Think about a car in neutral. If it's completely stopped, it's 100 times harder to get it moving again. But if it's already moving, even slowly, it's way easier to keep building momentum. And same thing goes with your habits. And this is where the spiral stops. Instead of chasing perfection or trying to overhaul your entire life in one go, we focus on stacking small wins. So each small wins builds confidence. Like each act of showing up, even when it's messy, is a brick in the wall. And when those bricks stack up, that's when you stop wanting confidence and start living it. So most people don't realize confidence doesn't magically show up at your weight goal. Confidence is built every time you show up for yourself, especially when it's inconvenient. That's where trust comes from. And confidence at the end of the day is just trusting yourself to follow through and show up, not what the number says on the scale. Every action you take is a vote for that trust. So I actually have this great analogy I like to mention to my clients a lot, where it's like, imagine if you had a friend of yours. Hey, tomorrow morning, I'm gonna pick you up. We're gonna go work out. That person doesn't pick you up. You're like, oh, okay, maybe something happened. Then they do that 3 or 4 more times. You're gonna be like, screw that person. I'm not gonna trust that person. I'm not gonna rely on that person, right? Then you flip that onto yourself. And you're telling yourself over and over again, this is the week. I'm going to get my workouts in. I'm going to make sure I get my nutrition dialed in this weekend for the first time. And something comes up, you don't really follow through with it the way that you intended. What starts to happen over time, you just start to lose trust with yourself. You start to lose confidence with your ability to even be able to do it in the first place, which is why we're so heavily focused on showing up and building habits instead of just trying to show up strong all the time. Like, here's the thing. Like, if your routine only works when life is perfect, it's not a real system. That's why I teach my clients the if-then framework. Like, if I only have 5 minutes, then I'll do body weight squats. If I miss my morning workout, then I'm gonna go for a walk on my lunch. See how that works? It takes away the pressure of perfection and gives you a fallback plan for when life throws curveballs and creates clarity for those situations. Now it's your turn. Like, what's one if-then you could use in your own life? Like, is it nutrition, workouts, like whatever it is? I want you to type it in the chat so you can lock it in. That's like missing a workout, or so you go and like do like a 5 minute body weight workout at home. Is it maybe you missed your lunch, so you're gonna have like beef jerky or like have something that's gonna be higher in protein that you can find? Like, what's that if then thing that you could apply in your own life right now? If I miss my morning TRX, then I do the evening full body. Love it. If I'm sick, then I'll do 5 minutes of body weight instead of the gym. I want to give you guys a second so you can start to think about what that is and create a little bit of clarity on it. Feel free to throw it in the chat whenever you're ready. Now, I want you guys to meet Rosie. She's got 5 kids, she runs a business, and trust me, her life is not calm or perfect. When Rosie came to us, she thought her only option was to wait until life slowed down. But here's the truth, and never does. Instead, we built simple systems that fit inside of her chaos, systems she could lean on even when kids were sick, her business pulled her in every direction, and look at her results. Rosie didn't succeed because life magically got easier. She succeeded because her systems kept her moving when motivation was gone. If I miss the gym, I go for a walk later. I'm still here, but listening. All good. No worries. All right, this is the next part where most people go wrong. They think losing weight means cutting out everything they enjoy, eating clean 24/7, or constantly feeling deprived. But that's exactly why most diets fail. They're built on restriction, not reality. And what I'm about to show you isn't another diet, it's a real life nutrition method. The goal isn't perfection, it's freedom. Freedom to eat real food, freedom to enjoy pizza night and family dinners, freedom to actually stick to this for life, not just until the next event or vacation. So here's the problem with most diets. They look great on paper, cut out all the carbs, eat clean, no sugar, and for a week you absolutely crush it. But then what happens? Strict turns into restricting. You cut out everything you love, willpower tanks, and then comes binging. After that, the shame, the guilt, the promise to start fresh on Monday. Sound familiar? And if it does, I want you guys to type Monday in the chat if that sounds familiar. Monday? Already gotten a couple? Totally hear you guys. Like here's the thing. It's not you, it's the plan. You were set up to fail before you even started. So here's the truth. Most diets fail because they rip away everything you love. No pizza, no chocolate, no chips. That's why people last a week, maybe two, and then they crash. With our approach, you don't cut it, you upgrade it. Instead of pizza that puts you in a food coma, we make a tortilla pizza that satisfies the craving but doesn't derail your progress. Instead of chocolate that triggers a binge, we do protein pudding so you get the taste and the fullness. When you build these swaps in, you stop feeling deprived, and when you stop feeling deprived, you stop rebelling against your own diet. So, quick one for you guys. If you had to swap one thing first, what would it be? I want you guys to drop that in the chat. I know for me, if it was swapping one thing, it'd be soda for diet soda. Diet soda is a godsend. Coffee cream? As your partner, yeah, I think coffee cream's a good one for you. Processed sugars, ice cream. Yeah, start to think about what that needs to be. Maybe it's sweets. You can go for smart sweets instead of regular gummies. Maybe it's going for protein ice cream instead of regular ice cream. Like I have like a pint of protein ice cream like every day when I'm losing body fat. Bread, I love bread. Yeah, there's some crazy breads out there, like high fiber, like low carb breads that you can swap them out for. So most people think they have a willpower problem, but the truth is they have a satiety problem. If your meals aren't built around high satiety foods, you're always going to feel like you're white knuckling it. And that's why most people fall off. They're literally fighting their biology. Now, look at this list. If you build meals with foods like this, like protein, smart carbs, fiber, healthy fats, filling snacks, suddenly willpower doesn't even matter. You're full, you're satisfied, and that's when fat loss actually feels easy. So most people feel like meal prep means spending all of Sunday in the kitchen with 14 Tupperware containers. You don't need to prep meals, you just need to prep building blocks. Like two proteins in bulk, one or two carb bases, and a couple of grab and go snacks. That's it. Now, instead of staring into your fridge at 6 p.m. wondering what to eat, you can build a meal in 2 minutes. That's how busy parents actually stick to it. Like, for example, Allie didn't cut carbs, didn't eat chicken and broccoli every day, and she didn't give up her favorite foods. What changed was the system. She learned how to make simple swaps, how to anchor meals, and how to starting over every Monday. That's why she dropped 54 pounds in 8 months while working 10 plus hour shifts. And this is the real life proof that freedom works better than restriction. Most people think that they're just tired because they're getting older or because parenting is exhausting. That's not the real reason. The thing is, when you're under fueling your body, of course you're going to crash at 3 p.m. When you go days without movement, your body's going to feel heavy and sluggish. And when you're stuck in that shame cycle, beating yourself up for missing one meal or one workout, that mental weight drains you more than any physical activity ever could. This isn't about age, it's about broken systems. Confidence doesn't come from a number on the scale, it comes from energy. Think about it. When you're feeling your body moving consistently and keeping promises to yourself, you feel alive. And that energy, that's what creates confidence. Confidence is simply trust in yourself. Every time you follow through, even on the smallest things, you're charging your battery. That's why our clients start walking into the rooms differently, not because the scale told them to, but because their energy gave them their self-worth back. So these are the real wins that actually matter. The scale moves, sure, but what our clients celebrate most are moments like saying yes to being in family pictures again, finally feeling good in their clothes, walking into rooms without shrinking themselves, and having the energy to actually enjoy their life. That's the shift this blueprint creates, and not just weight loss, but identity level wins. So this is the real difference between another diet and real change. Diets focus on what to eat for a few weeks, but what actually works is this. Meal anchors that keep you consistent, habit stacking, so new, routines feel effortless. Systems that carry you when willpower fails, and identity work so you don't become the kind of person who doesn't quit. Or so you become the kind of person that doesn't quit. That's why our clients don't go back to yo-yo dieting because once you become this version of yourself, there's no unbecoming it. Now, I guys to drop a flame in the chat or a yes in the chat if this is hitting home for you. Double flame. Let's go. Lots of flames. Heck yeah, guys. Let's go. Let's go. I love that this is hitting home with you guys. Awesome. So this is Kelly. She was working 12 plus hour shifts, exhausted, and still wanted to enjoy drinks on the weekend. But here's the thing. She didn't wait for the perfect time. She used the same system I just walked you through. And over time, she dropped 70 pounds. Not by being perfect, not by giving up her life, but by staying consistent with the system. And she's not the only one. Let me show you a few more stories. And this is Greg. Greg's a dad. He was training full time for firefighting while working long hours. Talk about busy. Most people in that situation would think there's no way they could get their could take on their health at the same time. But Greg applied this exact process in just 8 months. He dropped 65 pounds. And what's crazy is this picture you're seeing, like that's only 8 months in. And it's proof that even when life feels packed to the brim, the system still works. And just like Greg, Amanda on this next slide also had her own set of challenges. So Amanda was working 12 plus hour shifts, constantly on her feet, exhausted. Most people in that situation just think, there's no way I can focus on myself right now. But Amanda trusted the system, followed through, and dropped 35 pounds. And here's the best part. She's not just lighter. She kept it off for over a year and says she's felt better now than she ever has. And this isn't about quick fixes. It's about a permanent change that actually sticks. And if you think her schedule is wild, wait until you hear about Cheryl. So this is Cheryl. She's juggling a school, running a business, and being a busy mom all at once. With everything on her plate, it would have been easy to push her health on the back burner. But instead, she applied this system, dropped 44 pounds along with 7 inches off her waist. And that's proof that no matter how chaotic life looks, when you have the right structure, the results follow. So now you've seen Kelly, Greg, Amanda, and Cheryl all with completely different challenges, yet all creating massive change in their lives. And that's exactly why I know this can work for you too. This is actually just testimonials from Cheryl and her talking about the program and like everything that she went through as well. You could also find it on my page on Facebook as well. And here's Tara. Tara had been stuck like trying to lose weight for years, but nothing seemed to stick. Between her raising kids, going to school, and working, she felt like she already tried everything. But once she plugged in this system, everything shifted. She finally broke through the plateau, dropped the weight, and most importantly, built the routines to keep it off. Tara's story is that it doesn't matter how many times you've started over. Once the system is in place, you can create lasting change. And just like Tara, so many others who thought it wouldn't work for them have proven that it does. All right, let's do something a little bit different here. Go ahead and I want you guys to close your eyes again for me, just for a moment. Picture this. You wake up 10, 15, even 25 pounds lighter. Not just physically, but emotionally lighter. You're no longer skipping mirrors, no longer throwing on baggy clothes just to feel comfortable. Your partner notices. Your coworkers feel it. Your kids see it. And for the first time in years, you finally feel like you again. And most importantly, you've stuck to it. No guilt, no shame, just results that finally feel permanent. Now I want you guys to open your eyes and tell me in the chat, like, what's one word for how that would feel for you? Whenever you're ready. Happy? Love it. Amazing? Heck yeah. New. Love that. Awesome. Like a brand new version of yourself. Happy. Let's get a couple more in the chat. Like, how would that actually feel being able to achieve that for yourself? Satisfied that it finally happened. Reborn like a phoenix. I love it. Proud, satisfied, strong, great. Love it, guys. Now ask yourself this. What's the cost of doing nothing? Of going another 6 months, saying I'll start Monday, after vacation, one thing settled down. You already know where that leads. So let me ask you, like the last time you waited, what did it actually cost you? Was it time, confidence, momentum, quality of life? Type that one word that hits home for you in the chat when you think about this. All of the above. Self-esteem, years of your life, quality of life. Yep. Appreciate the honesty, guys. Wait, time. Yeah. Missing out on life. Absolutely. Appreciate the honesty, everybody. Momentum. But now you've got something different in front of you. Here's the truth. Like up until now, mostly been trying to do with this the wrong like with the wrong tools, relying on motivation, chasing quick fixes, going it alone. But now you've got something different in front of you. A proven plan that actually works in real life. Even in small towns or having a chaotic schedule, being a busy parent, a busy professional, real results without extreme dieting, without adding hours of cardio and support and structure for someone who's been exactly where you are right now. So let me ask you, like, which of these three would move the needle most for you guys? Would it be type one for the type the number one for the plan, type number two for the results, or number three for the support? Three for support, absolutely. Two and three. Two, for sure. Two, absolutely. Results without extreme dieting is so important. Results in support. One, two, and three. Awesome. Awesome. Get as many in the chat as possible. Got another, got a one. Yeah, proven plan that actually works. So right now, there are two versions of you. So version A walks away from this, back to the same old patterns, another Monday, another promise to try harder, another cycle of starting over. Or version B steps forward, even if it feels scary, even if you're unsure. But deep down, you know you're done putting yourself last, and you're ready to finally follow through for yourself. So let's make it real. Like, which one are you? Type A or B in the chat right now. I got that B fast, Michelle. Love it. We're on that. Love it, guys. Let's go. Lots of B's. Lots of B's. Heck yeah. It's a way to lock it in. Awesome. Awesome, guys. So if that's you, here's what I got for you. I've opened up a handful of private breakthrough sessions, and these are normally worth about $500 on their own because the clients pay me thousands for this level of clarity. But tonight, you're getting it for free if you grab one of these spots. Here's exactly what we're going to be covering together. First, we're going to uncover what's really been keeping you stuck. Then we're going to map out your exact next steps for the next 90 to 120 days. I'll show you how to finally follow through without starting over every Monday. And if it feels like a fit, we can talk about how coaching can help you get there faster. But whether we work together or not, there's no pressure. You walk away with clarity and a clear game plan. So why now? Because waiting for the perfect time is the biggest lie that keeps people stuck for years. I'll start when work slows down. I'll start when life is less busy. I'll start when I finally wake up motivated. But deep down, you already know the truth. The longer that you wait, the harder that it gets. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. So the truth is, you don't need perfect timing because let's be real, when has life ever actually slowed down? What you need is a plan, a process, and the right support. And that's exactly what this breakthrough call is about. So you've seen what's possible. You've seen Kelly, Greg, Amanda, Heather, Cheryl, Tara, and so many others who all started exactly where you are right now. So here's the next move. Drop the word VIP in the chat or click the link below that Rebecca's going to be sending into the chat box. So if you click on that before spots are gone, this is your chance to get your own personalized breakthrough plan. But the spots are limited, and once they're full, they're full. So I'll give you guys a second. Oh, got some VIPs already. Love it. Awesome decision. Cassandra, Michelle, let's go. Charlene. Awesome. Let's get some more VIPs in the chat. We only got limited spots for this. VIP, VIP. You know I'm in. Love it, Kate. Love the energy. Awesome. Awesome. So some of you are still sitting on the fence thinking about it, and that's totally fine. But let me ask you this. Imagine your future self. 25 pounds lighter, confident, strong, walking into a room and feeling good in their own skin. What would that version of you want you to do right now? I want you to go ahead and type the words your future self would tell you in the chat. If that version of you was to talk to you right now, and what would they want you to do right now? And I want you to put that into the chat. Do it. Yes, exactly. Not waiting, doing it even while you're scared. I'd love to get some more. Stop waiting. You'll wait another 13 years. Totally. Absolutely. Having that awareness is so, so important. Don't be a brat. Just do it. So let me ask you guys straight up. What's standing between you and stop putting myself last? No one else is going to do this for you. Get on it. So let me ask you this straight up. What's standing between you and making this shift today? Usually it's one of two things. So option A, fear, that little voice saying not now, not me, maybe later. Or option B, nothing. You're done waiting and you're ready to take action. So which is it for you right now, A or B? I'd love for you guys to type it in the chat. Got some B's, lots of B's, love it. Awesome. Got no A so far. Let's go. Let's go. Awesome. Bunch of action takers. All right, let's bring this home. So if you said A, that's fear, and sometimes you just got to do what's scared. And like if even if you didn't put it in the chat box, and if you said B, you already know this is your moment. So here's your next move. If you drop VIP in the chat right now or use that link below, but remember, once these spots are filled, they're gone. And when they're gone, they're gone.